It's another gorgeous evening for baseball. In downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium, game number 2 between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Last night started so well it looked like Chris Carpenter would get over the hump for the 500 mark and pick up a win. It was Lance Berkman giving the Cardinals a lead in the second inning. His 29th home run of the year. 1-0 as we head to the 9th. Carpenter out of the game, and Miles delivers. That's Aaron Miles, the former Cardinal, with a triple and RBI, and eventually he scored the winning run, and the Dodgers were all smiles with a 2-1 win. With Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. A lot of the folks that follow this team talking about that 9th inning, and now you're 24 hours removed just about for Tony La Russa. How do you think he handled that?
Well, I talked to Tony about the 9th inning. He let Carpenter start the inning. He hit the first man. And then you had the very tough left-handed hitting Ethier coming at the plate. Tony said if it would have been a right-handed batter, he would have left Carpenter in. But because Ethier was a pull hitter, he wanted to go to his left-hander. He brought in Arthur Rhodes, and he struck him out. That part worked well. Tony was feeling pretty good about the decision because he had Aaron Miles and he had their catcher coming up. It's just the fact that Tony said maybe one too many changeups from Salas, and Aaron Miles made him pay.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game. Now we look ahead to game 2 here tonight, and that's Kyle Loesch looking for career win number 100. A look at that when we come back. For the Minnesota Twins. In 4 years with the Cardinals, Kyle has posted 36 victories. Another victory tonight, and he'll be the 36th Cardinal in team history to record his 100th career win while wearing the St. Louis uniform. In honor of Loesch's attempt this evening, here are the last 5. Chris Carpenter was the last pitcher to collect his 100th career win while wearing the birds on the bat. He did it over 5 years ago on September 16, 2006, at the expense of his former teammate Matt Morris, who was also a part of this list. With the help of Albert's 4-for-4 evening, Carpenter's 7 innings of one-run baseball helped the reigning Cy Young winner reach triple-digit wins in his career. Jeff Suppan didn't start his career with the Cardinals until his 10th Major League season, but 2 straight 16-win campaigns in 2004 and 2005 helped Soup reach career win number 100 while with St. Louis. Despite the solo home run Matt Holliday hit against him in the second inning, Soup reached his 100th career win on June 17, 2006 against the Colorado Rockies. He tossed 7 2/3 innings of 2-run baseball. Mark Mulder was the first of the 3 Cardinals to reach career win number 100 during the 2006 season. On May 6, 2006, he allowed 3 runs in 6 innings of work against the Marlins and even doubled in a run in the 5th. Mulder, though, would win only 3 more games in his career, retiring with the Redbirds after the 2008 season. Matt Morris was the opposing pitcher when Chris Carpenter earned his 100th career win, but he had already accomplished that same feat a year earlier. However, unlike Carpenter, all of Morris's first 100 career wins were with the Cardinals. He became the first since Bob Porsche in 1982. Woody Williams needed 12 Major League seasons to earn career win number 100, but the 37-year-old got it done in August of 2004 against Barry Bonds and the Giants. Despite a solid outing from San Francisco starter Jason Schmidt, who also was looking for career win number 100, Williams' 6 1/3 innings of one-run baseball did the trick. Those are the last 5 Cardinal pitchers to earn their 100th career win while wearing the birds on the bat. Can Kyle Loesch join that club tonight? We're about to find out. Baseball coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. He does deserve comparisons, at least in the first 109 starts of each career. Quite an honor just to be in that conversation.
Sandy Koufax was really a late bloomer. It took him a while to really harness his great fastball. The opposite with Clayton Kershaw. He came up, he's only 23 right now, already has won 15 ball games this year. He had a great arm, now he has great command of that fastball.
Clayton Kershaw gets the start looking for win number 16. Kyle Loesch looking for win number 12. Dodgers and Cardinals coming up tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. St. Louis. Cardinals and Dodgers get together this evening for Game 2 of their 3-game series. The Cardinals turn to Kyle Loesch. A win tonight would give him a team-high 12 this season and would be the 100th victory of his career. But to get that win, he'll have to beat lefty Clayton Kershaw, the only pitcher this year able to match stats with Philadelphia's Roy Halladay. Two of the most storied teams in baseball history get together tonight from Busch Stadium. First pitch just around the corner, next on Fox Sports Midwest. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Chevy. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers. By Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. #1 in quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake. Life needs flavor. Inside Busch Stadium. Crowd still filing in. We had over 35,000 here last night. And let's take a look at Don Mattingly's lineup here for Game 2. Justin Sellers, then Loney and Kemp. Rivera bats cleanup. Ethier, Miles, the hero from last night. Barajas, Carroll, and the pitcher Clayton Kershaw. That's presented by Southwest Airlines. We saw Sellers last night used as a pinch runner after Rivera was hit in the ninth by Chris Carpenter and scored the tying run.
He was acquired by the Dodgers from the Cubs on April 2nd of 2009 for cash considerations. He can run pretty well.
Fights this off, and it's a base hit past Terrio into center field. So leadoff base hit for Sellers. Halladay, Craig, and Berkman. That's right, Alan Craig in center field. Freeze for Cowell. Terrio, Pujols along the infield. And it's Loesch and Molina. The battery tonight presented by Dobbs.
Kyle Loesch has won 3 straight. He pitches very well against the National League West. 5-1 ERA under 3. 1 win shy of 100. And he leads the club in wins and ERA, and he needs to have a bounce back start. Not him personally, because he's been pitching very well, but after the tough loss last night, he needs to establish a very good start here and get started on a winning streak.
So a runner at first, nobody out, and a pickoff by Molina down to first, and Sellers back in safely.
Now he's picked up 39 in his career, 2 this season, and you still wonder why any would take too much of a lead. But Sellers did get back ahead of the throw. Sure that would get his attention, though.
5th major league season for James Loney. Had 157 hits to lead the club a year ago. And he takes a ball low, 2 balls and no strikes. You look up, and if you're the Cardinals, you're saying, here we go again, because Milwaukee has a 7-1 lead in the top of the 4th over Pittsburgh.
Well, somebody has to slow them down. Kershaw did. And he faced him in Milwaukee, the only win they had. But right now, Cardinals have to worry about themselves.
What's really been surprising and I think disappointing for the club is how they have played in front of all the big crowds they have had this season. And here at home, St. Louis is only 4 games above the 500 mark.
It's a hard way to win that way.
47 wins for Milwaukee at their ballpark. They're 47-16. So leadoff hit and a walk, and the first 2 have reached. 2 historic franchises squaring off against each other.
It's hard to believe this, isn't it?
Really is. That's as even as it gets, with the exception of 1 game.
And it's been that way, bounce back and forth. But I would say since about the 70s, it's been within 5 games the whole time. Kyle Lowe struggled his last time out in the first inning, then really settled down and pitched a great game.
The Cardinals against Matt Kemp and the Dodgers since 04, as Kemp looks at a ball, are 21-5 here at home. These 2 teams know each other quite well from postseason play back in the 80s and most recently just a couple of years ago in 09.
Cardinals got swept in that first round.
1-0 pitch to Kemp.
Kemp right now is just having a terrific season. Bounce back season after kind of a tough one last year for him. Many people think that he might sneak in as an MVP candidate, as Braun and Fielder will split votes, the 2 sluggers from Milwaukee.
.319 average, 28 home runs, 92 driven in, plays center field, and can steal a base or 2 as well. Matt Kemp, even though it's a losing team, will be in that conversation. You see his ranks, what he's done this year, and Clayton Kershaw will be in the conversation for Cy Young Award too.
One of the things is, you know, Kershaw would be looking for his 16th win, and Holiday has 19. But he's, as you so aptly said, that Kershaw is the only one that can kind of put his name in consideration with Holiday.
Here's a 3-1 pitch to Matt Kemp. Tapped foul. Get the feeling that Justin Verlander will run away with it over in the American League.
Looks that way.
There's even talk of him being the MVP. I don't know how you feel about Cy Young being an MVP. The MVP of pitchers is the Cy Young.
When you have a year like Gibson had, 1.12, and you do that, you can talk about it. But I find that you get the pitcher's award. You don't need the player's award.
And at deep center field, Craig will look up, and it's 3-0 Dodgers. When it rains, it pours. 3-0 Los Angeles.
Kemp trying to become a 30-30 man. Be the second in franchise history, while Mondesi did it. It's his 29th home run, 95 RBIs now. You see that ball up and in. He just kind of cleared his hips, brought the bat on through, and launched that ball deep into center field.
So 29 in the home run departments, and 93, 94, 95 RBIs for Matt Kemp.
Kemp already has 33 steals, so very likely he'll be the second LA Dodger to be a 30-30 man.
Here's a ground ball to Freeze. 1 away. That's a new career high for Matt Kemp in home runs.
You're already frustrated. You give up the 3-run home run, but you've got to battle down, battle and just say, okay, they got that. Can't do anything about that, but I can keep them
from scoring right now.
Andre Ethier will be the hitter, 288 his average. You get a look at Kemp, 10 home runs, and he's driven in 51.
It's Ethier, who Tony La Russa feared, the guy that pulls the ball and didn't want Carpenter to, withholding the runner on last night in the 9th inning after he hit Rivera. You know, he didn't want Kemp to pull the ball through the hole, so he brought in the lefty. That part worked well.
Good changeup by Loesch, 0-2. 91 degrees our game time temperature. Kemp's home run measured at 438 feet. The 0-2 pitch hit out of play.
It's only the 15th home run that Kyle has allowed.
One ball and 2 strikes. And there's a strikeout for Loesch. His first of the night, and there's 2 away. It brings in Aaron Miles. It is live television. We understand we may have caught a nasty word with one of our microphones down there. We do apologize for that. Frustration from Ethier. And Aaron Miles sent us all into frustration last night.
Boy, just a scrappy little hitter. He told the good story about him, you know, going and getting LASIK surgery. And he really is kind of a guy that has some great numbers for the Cardinals, always kind of battling for the, you know, a spot on the roster. And he just used that little baseball intelligence last night, knew that Salas has a good changeup, and on the 4th one he beat him with it.
And Miles looks at a called 3rd strike. Back-to-back strikeouts for Loesch, but a 3-run homer by Matt Kemp. Concerns. He just took Kyle Loesch deep for number 29. And it's 3-0 Dodgers after a half inning of play. Let's take a look at Tony La Russa's lineup tonight, presented by Southwest Airlines. For Kyle, Craig and Pujols, then Holiday, Berkman, and Freese, Molina, Terrio, and Kyle Loesch. Scouting report on the tough lefty.
Well, Mark McGuire said the Cardinals have had some success against Clayton. Wants to run the pitch count up. They're already saying at 23 years of age, he is the clubhouse leader. Really has demonstrated to his teammates he likes to go out there and he loves the game. Big cheerleader, but a big part of that clubhouse at only 23 and a pitcher.
And Al, the Cardinals have had success against Kershaw when the pitch count has gotten high. The problem is Kershaw has really been good as far as his control.
Yeah, that's one thing is as he's really made the transition. Remember, he came up at 21 and made his debut against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals probably gave him his worst defeat this season earlier in the year. And at that time, they got that pitch count up over 100, you know, into the 5th inning. So that's kind of their idea, is to kind of really battle, hopefully get into deep counts, get the pitch count up.
1-2 pitch, 2 for Kyle. 2-2. Our Toyota keys to the game. And it's Kershaw, his last 2 starts against St. Louis. The 9 ERA, 14 hits in 9 innings. 2-2 pitch. Kershaw off the mound, spins and makes the play. 1 away.
When you see that 0-9, you wonder, you know, you can see how effective he's pitched against everybody else with a 2.60 ERA.
Coming off a win against Milwaukee his last time out. Rivera, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. This is presented by Dobbs. Miles, Sellers, Carroll, and Loney along the infield. Barajas behind the plate. Kershaw on the mound. That's presented by Dobbs. If he can get a win, that would give him 16 on the year and move him ahead of Ian Kennedy of Arizona and Roy Halladay of the Phillies. Those 3, Kershaw, Kennedy, Halladay, all with 15.
But I think the complete games, the shutouts, are more closely related to Halladay, so Kennedy kind of comes a distance 3rd.
And Halladay is 4th in ERA. Kershaw right behind him, 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Out in L.A., Alan Craig reached Kershaw for a home run.
What have you thought about Craig playing defensively in center field?
Well, he really only had 1 test, and that was in Chicago in his first start in center. And he was outstanding. And they came in on a sinking line drive and made the play, and that bat as well keep him in the lineup.
Base hit by Craig to left.
Well, Alan Craig got that start in Chicago, and part of the reason why he got that is in game in Pittsburgh, where he had a career high 4 hits, including his first multi-home run game. Really exciting to see him, what he could do in a healthy season, along with David Freese. A little bit more protection for Albert Pujols and company.
Albert batting .289. 31 dingers and 77 driven in this year. 1 for 4 last night. Slide step that you see used by Kershaw.
I don't remember seeing that stretch so exaggerated over his head and then coming down. But whatever he's doing, it's working.
They say that he has changed this in the last month or so from the stretch, what you'll see right here. Pujols leading the league in home runs with 31, 1 ahead of Stanton and Dan Uggla. Popped foul and out of play. How about Dan Uggla? 5 consecutive years for a second baseman with 30 or more home runs.
It's incredible. And then if you would have saw him earlier this season, you'd say he never reached that plateau this year.
I'd have said that he's not going to hit 200.
I was going to say the Mendoza line, but a 30-plus game hitting streak. And during that time, he had a ton.
Yes.
What, 13, 14 home runs during that hitting streak.
The 0-2 pitch to Pujols. Base hit left side. Drag to second. We'll stop there. And it brings in Matt Holliday. Minus the Moth.
Oh, you see this stretch is slowly way over his head. Then he'll come set. Still the hands are very high. And so far in this game, he's elevated quite a few pitches. Albert just hits this one hard enough to go through on the left side.
Well, Matt Holliday, for those of you that didn't see it, late in the ball game last night had to leave because a moth flew into his ear. He couldn't get it out. And so the technique was used. Let's take you into a room, turn on the lights. It was dark, turn on the light, see if the moth would actually come out of his head and his ear. That didn't happen, so they had to go get tweezers and pulled it out. And lo and behold, the moth at that time, little did he know, he had a short, very short shelf life. And that was in his ear.
That is the moth. And he said, you know, he was trying to get it out. He said, I actually, one pitch, he said, I think that my glove was on the ground as he was shaking his head and trying to get this moth out. He said it wasn't, you know, just he could feel the moth inside there, and it's just such an uncomfortable feeling. He had a little fun with the media today as they were giving him the moth jokes.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And then during batting practice, he came out with a kind of an announcer's headset with a microphone, but it really was his anti-moth gear.
Runners at first and second. One swing of the bat could tie it up. Holliday is sitting on 18 home runs.
I was listening to the radio today, and John Mabry was on the game, one of our FSN analysts. And I mean, he said he was at his son's Little League game.
Strikeout of Holliday, first of the night for Kershaw.
Good breaking ball there, down, and gets him swing at. And he said he saw one of the mothers with the radio, and he said, what's the score? He says it's 1-0, but Holliday is just coming off the field, you know, holding his head. And Mabry said, I bet it's a moth. He said, when these moths hatch underneath the turf, he said, it's crazy. He said, I've had them go up my nose, my ear, my mouth. And it's a problem that around this type of year, you know, they hatch out and become a problem, you know, around the ballpark.
2 outs, 2 on. I'll never forget Barry Bonds.
Right.
It was the game with the Moths at the Old Busch Stadium, and he went back in left field to make a catch, and it went off his glove, and there were bugs all over him, and it went over the wall, and the Cardinals won the game.
I remember that video.
And he couldn't believe it. Mary put his glove on top of his head. Disbelief. 1-0 pitch to Berkman, and he crushes it down the left field line, but pulls it foul.
Into that third deck. He hit his 29th home run last night, the first since July 31st. Most of his home runs have come on the road. 21 of his 29. And he just couldn't keep that one fair, or we'd have a tie game.
Not many from this side of the plate.
But he is, you know, a better hitter this season right-handed than you know, a couple years ago.
A 1-1 pitch, Kershaw to Berkman. He said in his previous start, Kershaw really struggled with the slider, so he was basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Went to the curveball and also the fastball, obviously. And you see what he's done both sides of the plate. But this guy is tough. We've seen, for instance, that breaking ball that Holliday swung through. That was a nasty pitch.
Rick Honeycutt was a very good left-hander in his own right, and really has become a close friend of Sandy Koufax. So you can see that Honey's had an influence on Kershaw, but this is a lot of just natural-born talent.
1-2 swung on and missed by Berkman. Barajas to first, and the Cardinals will strand 2.
He also leads the National League in strikeouts.
Available from August 26th to the 28th. For reservations or more information, 650-969-8100, extension 111, or go to their website, airshipventures.com/tour.
And Tim Garcia, our trusted associate in the booth, has done his only bit of work today, notifying us
Today?
Well,
how about
for this
year?
week, it's a Zeppelin. It's not a blimp, it's a Zeppelin.
What's the difference? You want to tell us, Tim?
Blimp is smaller.
Metal frame.
Exactly.
And a metal frame.
Thank you.
So
Well, that's good stuff.
He can go back to sleep now.
Barajas looks at his strike, and we're underway here in the second inning.
After the Arthur Rhodes strikeout of Ethier last night, Tony said, "Oh, I felt pretty good." Had Aaron Miles and Barajas coming up.
And a fly ball lifted to left for the first out.
Miles tied the game with a RBI triple, and then Barajas hit the hard ground ball towards short that Percal knocked down and then threw wildly to home plate, allowing Miles to score the winning run.
Beautiful night here in downtown St. Louis. Day baseball tomorrow
with St. Louis temperatures.
Jaime Garcia against Kuroda. There's a strike at the knees to the 8th place hitter, Jamie Carroll.
He was 0 for 4 last night. He's had a tough road trip, but this guy's become a very, very valuable commodity. Very good pinch hitter, can play a lot of positions, and he's always hit well.
Base hit into right. Carroll will stop at first base. Molina trailing the play if they wanted to throw behind. And it's a 1-out base hit.
Told me his grandfather saw last night, the first time he's seen him play since his rookie year in Montreal. This little inside out stroke, plunks it down the right field line. Jamie Carroll leads the major leagues with a .354 batting average as a pinch hitter since the start of the 02 season.
Saw that replay. Plaza Tire Service. Exmo. Check on Carroll at first. Here's Clayton Kershaw. To the same high school as Matthew Stafford, who is the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, and actually he blocked for him. I'd say don't hurt that left arm.
Out of Dallas, Texas.
Gets the bunt down. Only play for Yachty is to go to first. Pujols is there. And there's 2 outs. Sacrifice 2-3 on the play. Back to the top of the lineup, and it brings in Sellers. You know, Al, you were talking about Matt Kemp, and we know about his power, but as you mentioned as well, the stolen bases have been a lot higher this year for Kemp. And standing down at first, a guy you know very well, Davey Lopes, he's really helped on that.
Oh, no doubt about it. Davey Lopes was a great base stealer in his era, and I'm sure he's told Matt Kemp or anybody else wants to listen, kind of teach you the little tricks of the trade, and you know, you almost have to have an arrogance about you to be a good base runner, and really particularly a base stealer. You have to defy pitcher and catcher to catch it.
Speaking of base stealing, we hope to visit with Vince Coleman on Friday night. Willie McGee bobblehead night here at the ballpark. Still some seats remaining for that. But those two will be back in St. Louis. That'll be fun to watch throughout the ceremonial first pitch. High fly ball. This could be trouble. Deep left field. Holiday looks up, and it bounces short of the wall. It's a double for Sellers, and that makes it 4-0.
Very odd on the approach of Holiday. You know, Alan Craig playing only his second game in center field, and I think kind of breaking ball, got it off the end of the bat, and really looked like, you know, Holiday didn't really look like anybody really was in any hurry to get to the warning track. And I'd have to say it was more Holiday's ball than Alan Craig. Matt has really improved his defense since coming over from, or coming to St. Louis, but that one just don't know if he thought it was out or not, but really didn't get run back there towards the track in a quick fashion.
Here's James Loney, walked, scored on the home run by Kemp, who's on deck. 4-0 Dodgers here in the top of the second. This is a year that the Cardinals came out and said, all right, we're going to sacrifice defense for offense. And at times the offense has clicked. But what has been a problem this year consistently has been defense and giving away outs.
Right, and missed double plays. You know, times where you get one out, but you don't get the two to get out of an inning. Milwaukee started out 7-0, so Pittsburgh creeping back in it, but long way to go.
2 balls and 1 strike on James Loney. 2 outs, runner at second base. Loney rips it into center field. And this will make it 5-0. Throw cut off by Pujols. 5-0 Los Angeles.
Sellers, you know, with 2 outs. Contact made, just put the head down and just circle the bases. Got around third, he started trying to find out where it's at. And Loney, who's really had a frustrating season, having a good September or good August. He was 3 for 4 last night. He walked here and now a base hit here. But they've said that, you know, he had a rough second half last year, a rough first half for a guy that they were supposed to count on to be a big RBI man for him. He really hasn't delivered. Kemp has.
3-run homer in the first, number 29 for Matt Kemp. What do you think about the potential of call-ups for the Cardinals coming up in September to get a look at some of the younger players? A guy like Tyler Green comes to mind. Would you give him an extended look? Michael Clado, Brandon Dixon, who we've seen, a couple of pitchers. And you mentioned maybe the most intriguing candidate last night, Nick Stavanoa. The problem right now with Stavanoa, he's not on the 40-man roster.
Yeah, and so, you know, I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made this offseason. A lot of potential free agents.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. And Kemp drives it into right field. Berkman won't get it. Cuts it off. And Kemp on his way to second base and in there safely with a double. Hustle of Berkman saving a run to keep it 5-0. Cutting it off before it got to the gap in right center.
Gets over here and then just snares it. An effort to stop, a few extra steps. Really didn't have a good, wasn't in throwing position, but try to get it back as quick as possible. Hit the cutoff man.
And now that gave you a pretty good indication of the speed of Matt Kemp. For a big man, he can move. So here is Juan Rivera with 2 outs, runners at second and third, already a 5-run lead. And already bullpen starting to stir, and a right-hander is throwing in the pen.
Mitchell Boggs. Not the start we were expecting from Kyle Loesch.
Trying to pick up win number 100 of his career tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rivera. Grounded out to third for the first out in the game back in the first.
And won 3 straight decisions. Really looked like he had turned things around.
And that's a base hit into center field. 1 run is in. Here comes Matt Kemp. 7-0 Los Angeles, and here come the boos.
These Dodgers, they're wondering what's happened. You know, this is like a week worth of runs for them. Missed locations. Molina's set up, down and away. Ball up and in. hits it up the middle, scoring 2 more. They already have 7 hits and 7 runs.
You see Loesch throw over a step off. That might give you the indication that his night is through. Many times that's the indication that you know, because Tony's calling that from the bench to make sure that whoever's coming in from the bullpen is loose and ready to roll.
Saw that last night with Carpenter.
No balls, 2 strikes on Ethier.
And I know it was not a popular decision, Tony's last night, but when you have a guy like Chris Carpenter, who is such a intense competitor, but he's always said, you know, I'll give you everything I've got, but once Tony comes out there and made his decision, I don't question it. I just give him the ball.
And then I'd like to know what was going on in his mind. That's what he's going to say, but he's got that burning desire, just like anybody else, I'm sure, to finish that game. But out of respect to his manager and the game, that's how you do it.
No doubt about it.
0-2 pitch, misses inside, 1-2. I thought the cutter from Carpenter last night, Al, was about as good as we've seen it all year, and he looked sharp.
We saw very few curveballs. He had the 2-seam, 4-seam working, but both sides of the plate. Changing the eye level of hitters. Cardinals hold an option for Carpenter next year.
2-2, a little bouncer, right side. Terrio is there. Dodgers pick up 4 at 7-0. On FoxSportsMidwest.com. As you watch the game on television, you can join the conversation about the game on Twitter. Track trends and stats. Game Connect, find it at FoxSportsMidwest.com. Here's David Freese. For just joining us, it has not been pretty. 3 runs in the first for the Dodgers and 4 in their half of the second. Kershaw allowed a couple of base hits first inning, but then with that kind of pitch, also got a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, frustrating. Allen Craig and Pujols hit, got base hits, and Holiday and Berkman struck out.
Nice play. Loney sliding to his left and steps on the bag for the out. Made a nice catch on a line drive off the bat of Molina last night.
Well, I think he's just been frustrating to the Dodgers because how he's played in this series defensively and offensively is what they expected from him. And then his second half last season, he really stopped delivering RBIs. His first half this year really has not been that great. You know, he's only got 40 RBIs with his one tonight, but they expected him to be, you know, right now probably at 70 RBIs, if not 80.
Ground ball to second. 2 away. Molina retired, and it brings in Ryan Theriot. Mike Harbath, our Foxmo camera operator, which is brought to you by Hyundai. And Dave Sonnenberg with our replays tonight. Those guys do a great job all year long.
Our crew here in St. Louis does an outstanding job. Really catches the flavor of Cardinal baseball.
2 outs and nobody on. Theriot with the Dodgers looks at a ball low. 6 for 20 this year against Los Angeles. No home runs, 3 RBIs on the year, batting .275.
A little bit below his career batting average, and I think comes with a reputation of really being a singles hitter, and I think he's produced a little more doubles this year than what we expect. 23.
And it's 3-0 for Kyle and Theriot, who were shortstops with the Dodgers a year ago, in the lineup tonight for the Cardinals.
I thought Theriot at second base has been a real plus defensively. Maybe some shortcomings at shortstop, but he's made some very nice plays defensively at second.
Three and two. Big gap in left center. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Outside, taken for ball 4. Third base run of the night for St. Louis. Don't forget, this Friday, make sure and get here early. Both Vince Coleman and Willie McGee signing autographs in the Ford Plaza. That's the Bush Bash this Friday here at the ballpark at the Ford Plaza. Pittsburgh in town beginning Thursday night.
Kyle Loesch going to hit for himself here.
Great giveaways and promotions all weekend long. McGee bobblehead night Friday. Photo day at the ballpark on Saturday. That's always very popular. You head on the field and a chance to take pictures of the players and the coaching staff. Then Matt Holliday bobblehead day on Sunday. Also have the chance to run the bases after the game for the kids on Sunday. And if you buy a terrace level ticket, free hot dog and Coke on Sunday as well. 0-2, the count on Kyle Loesch. When he comes set like this, Al, any reason as to why, when you see Kershaw start so high, just to get balance, why would he want to do something like that?
Well, everything he's doing there is really counterproductive. You know, because he gets to a set position and then he starts the positive of moving forward. So it's something that, for whatever reason, he started doing in the last month, but it really, you know, I don't see any advantage to it at all. Kind of comes to a, you know, after he goes way up there, comes set really around the high on the chest.
It's like watching a Craig Counsell at bat.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Two landing areas, a contrast of the righty and lefty.
2-2 pitch. 3-2 for Kyle on deck, and runner at first base. Theriot off with this next delivery.
See, he throws slightly across his body, and virtually every left-handed pitcher does. He'll be the one closer to the first base side across his body.
3-2, and Loesch spoils it out of play. See the grounds crew usually at 5-10 minutes after that final out, they're out there pounding the dirt in for the mound and trying to get it ready for the next day.
Used to be the old days at Dodger Stadium. No activities really went on at Dodger Stadium. Maybe the Beatles, something like that, once a decade. But the groundskeeper would take the next day's starting pitcher and manicure the mound for his special taste.
Produced is in the booth with us. It's not Al, it's not me, it's Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Nice to see you again. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Jackie is here to promote the 6K run in honor of Stan the Man and to raise some money for Cardinals Care. We'll talk about that momentarily, but what are you doing to stay busy these days?
I'm traveling, doing a lot of work with kids, doing a lot of motivational talks, and doing a lot of things with wellness and fitness and nutrition, staying true to what I'm about, you know, and so that keeps me busy. And then also my community work on the east side, and then also being a part of, you know, the Cardinal Care 6K run. I just think it's a fantastic run, and I look forward to it.
Aaron Miles grounds out for the first out here in the top of the third. Brings in Barajas. And Jackie, again, if people would like to sign up, by the way, let's get this out there right now. September 18th is the run. Cardinals.com/runhome. Cardinals.com/runhome. September 18th. And really one of the neat aspects about this run, it's finishing at home plate here at Busch Stadium.
I know. They get a chance to run across home plate at Busch Stadium and come feel, you know, what the ball players feel like, but doing it in a run, doing a 6K run. And also, it's really helping kids, and the kids are going to benefit, and it's just a great honor to be doing this and Stan the Man's honor.
And I know that your work on the east side includes the work with Cardinals Care, and a lot of those kids benefit from what Cardinals Care is doing in our communities.
Yes, Cardinal Care is a tremendous asset to this community because they have so many. Wow.
You want to call the home run? Because there it goes.
No.
I thought you were going to come in here and bring us some good luck.
I am. You know, we still got a little ways to go. You know, Cardinals going to turn it on.
Barajas with the home run. That's his 13th and RBI number 35. And it's a long night right now for Kyle Loesch and the Cardinals, and it's a 8-0 lead for Los Angeles. But going back to your work, and I know you hold the east side so close to your heart and trying to help those kids that are not privileged. There's disadvantages over there, obviously, and you've done so much for them. And in conjunction with the Cardinals, I think this is a great marriage, don't you?
Yes, I think it's a wonderful marriage. And when you can provide for the underserved, and there's just so many different organizations throughout the metropolitan area that the Cardinal Care really, really help. And I think I know this 6K run, it's just really it's great from the standpoint from a physical aspect, but then also bringing people together, and then also seeing that the people from this area benefit from it.
I'm assuming you grew up a Cardinals fan.
Oh, yes.
Who was your favorite player?
Well, I got to go with Ozzie Smith is one, but Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, the list go on and on and on. And then with Willie McGee and Vince Coleman, back in the day, because Vince would always try to challenge me to a foot race, or trying to steal a base. And then when Ray Langford, all those guys, it's really, really a great list. And then seeing some of the new guys, Albert Pujols and all the charity work that he does throughout the community. It's just, when ball players come to the Cardinal organization, they come to a family. And you could just see from the fans, the fans support the Cardinals through thick and thin.
Here's a little chopper to short for Kyle, comes up with it, and out at first as Carroll was hustling down the line. Again, the 6K run in honor of Stan the Man, September 18th, Cardinals.com/run home. I'm sure there's people that are watching that are saying, well, I'm not much of a runner, but I like to walk. And they can do that with this, right?
Oh, yes. We are encouraging people to come out and walk and run. Even myself, I'm going to be passing out medals, the goodie bags that they're going to be. Everyone will get a goodie bag, and then they also will have an opportunity to get coupons that will allow them to get 2 tickets to a game. And it's just really, I just think it's great. And you don't have to be a runner. Come out and walk. I do a lot of walking myself. Walking is good for you.
Good for you. Well, you still look like you should be part of the Olympics.
No, that's what they say. Looks are deceiving.
0-2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on, and the Cardinals trailing 8-0. Again, it's the run home for kids benefiting Cardinals Care, and the run will take place at 8:06 a.m. as Kershaw lines it foul. 8:06, and it's a 6K. And how much money it costs to participate with this, or even just to have a sponsorship? Or should they just go right to the website and find that out?
Yes, they should go to the website and find that out. And we're looking for everyone to, bring people. Go on the website, and it's cardinal.com/home run. Or run home.
Run home.
Me. Yes, run home.
Well, you just saw the home run, so that was in the back of your mind. That happens.
Yeah, I don't want the Dodgers, though.
So, again, Cardinals.com/run home, September 18th, raising money for Cardinals Care. We love seeing you back in town. Great to have you up here, and good luck with the event.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks.
One of the all-time greats, Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Again, September 18th. You'll see her there. brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Chevy. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers. And by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. We're in St. Louis along with Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And it's a rough night for the Redbirds, trailing by the score of 8-0. That may be the understatement of the night.
Yeah, anytime you're trailing 8-0, it's not good news. But when you're doing it to a pitcher like Kershaw, that much more trouble. But peck away.
Rafael Furcal, Alan Craig, and Albert Pujols. Furcal, center field, one away.
And for the game plan to get his pitch count up high, that's not quite working. Swinging at the first pitch. 39 pitches thrown for Kershaw tonight. Not accustomed to getting this much support. None of the Dodger pitchers are. But he's not going to complain.
You see our Fox tracks brought to you by Missouri Lottery. We'll do that periodically throughout our ball game tonight. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Alan Craig.
Got a base hit to left field his first time up, and a home run to left at Dodger Stadium off of Kershaw.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Craig, the center fielder tonight. 3-1. The only two hits for St. Louis, Craig and Pujols back-to-back in the first. Popped up. Shallow right. And Ethier makes the catch. Keep your beer ice cold in the heat of the summer with a Budweiser Beer Stein, the first in an exclusive collection brought to you by the Cardinals and Budweiser. Available to 25,000 fans, 21 and older. September 3rd. Visit Cardinals.com to find out more. The Cardinals will face Milwaukee 6 more times this year. And at home, the Cardinals will see them the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th of September.
Got a great promotion, right?
Yeah, it begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You can go online at cardinals.com/5. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. A shattered bat. It's 8-0. hits tonight, you're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $2.99. And you can stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal. That's it for Kyle Loesch. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen, and Mitchell Boggs is in. Tough night for Kyle. 3 innings, 8 runs, and 8 hits, pair of home runs, struck out 3 and 1 walk.
Through a scoreless inning on Saturday, and he'll have a chance here to stretch out a little bit. Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog in attendance here tonight. If he is not here, he is watching the games on television. Whitey called me today and referenced watching all the games on TV.
Probably likes us because we help him go to sleep at night.
He's also got a golf tournament coming up late September.
Here's a ground ball that's hit to short. Kyle makes the play. And I'm not referencing the ball club, Al. I'm referencing you and I. I mean, we can put a lot of people to sleep. We're pretty good at that.
Well, we can, and sometimes, unfortunately, the ball club does too.
Tonight might be one of those nights.
No. The Cardinal fans are going to stick with us. They're going to wait for that comeback.
There's Loney, who has walked and also singled. One of the things I'm sure if you're John Mozeliak or Tony La Russa that you have to look at, there's a ground ball that's hit to second, is when do you start thinking about 2012? Mathematically, you're alive. You very well could go 10 games out. You do have 6 head-to-head with Milwaukee, so there is the hope that you hold into that regard, but you also owe it to yourselves to figure out, okay, what do we have for next year, and who can play every day, who might be able to close, all those kind of things.
I think those things are an ongoing process. You know, months ago, I think you're looking to the future, and many times when they'll make a trade, you know, with an eye on not only this year but also, and does it have long-term implications. That's why a general manager's job today is never done. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and really in the off season, you know, there really is no downtime for a general manager. He's always out there trying to improve his ball club.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Kemp. Home run and a double for Matt Kemp. And again, if you ask Tony La Russa about it, I'm sure he'd say, well, 6 head-to-head, you never know.
Well, you know, Tony's the ultimate optimist, and he's got it mathematically figured out in his mind what they have to do, how to get back in this thing. But
you also have to be realistic.
And I think realistically, you got to just sit there and say the Cardinals are not in this because they haven't been able to put a sustained winning streak together. Now, there is time to turn that around, but you better do it right now.
2-2 the count on Matt Kemp. 2 outs, nobody on. Big night for Kemp already. And he hits a fly ball into right. Backing up in front of the track to make the catch, Lance Berkman. Good work so far by Boggs. 8-run deficit. spicy and grilled taste you want at night. Experience late night at Taco Bell. Hours may vary by location. And right now, come out to the new BMW Drive for Team USA event and get behind the wheel of a BMW to show your support. Here's Matt Holliday to lead it off for the Cardinals in the bottom of the fourth. And an 0-1 pitch. Injury-wise, it has been an odd year for Matt Holliday, hasn't it?
And the accident in the weight room cost him a couple days. You know, the moth in the ear last night.
Appendectomy.
The appendectomy, quick recovery, seven days from that. But and it's also been a very strange year offensively, where the Cardinals lead in so many offensive categories. You know, they had the best batting average in the National League, scored the most runs, most RBIs, a lot of things. Their strikeouts are down, their walks are up, but far many times you just have these type of games, or a game last night that, you know, they really just don't grind out at bats or score a lot of runs. And then you'll have a, you know, where they score double figures.
A 2-2. Holliday rips it down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It does. And Matt Holliday has a double.
Where the ball jumps off his bat. Behind the cage during batting practice today, you just marvel at how hard he hits a ball.
Does he remind you of anybody, Al, that you played with or against that takes this kind of rip?
Now you see this line drive and gets a lot of top spin, but you know, it's a little different when you didn't have that many guys lift their leg and swing so hard. You know, they got reminded that you aren't supposed to do that. You know, as umpires have taken away the inside pitch so much, or, you know, just flat out the knockdown pitch, the brushback pitch, where players, you know, kind of had a feeling that, okay, it's coming now, and it was just part of the game.
Remember, he tried to get away from that for a little bit, working with McGuire before Mark was the hitting coach, and Mark talked about how at times you lift up that top or that front leg, you become committed.
Sure.
So you put it down, and he's talking about in or out. Very tough to make that adjustment.
Sure, you can't move really until you put that leg down, and as you said, you know, you put it down and then you're kind of reaching for an outside pitch or trouble getting out of the way of an inside pitch. But he's had a pretty good career and hit for an awfully high average throughout that career.
1 ball, 1 strike here on Lance Berkman. Berkman struck out swinging first time up. 2 balls and 1 strike. Milwaukee leading 8-2 in their game. That's in the top of the 8th. Outfield is deep, and Berkman taps 1 foul.
Ability of this left-hander to get inside on right-handed batters. Can a pitcher successfully throw to his glove side? A lefty, meaning inside to a right-hander, really separates, and a lot of clubs will stack a right-handed staff against a guy like Kershaw, and it actually kind of falls into his advantage.
Strikeout, second time he's gotten Berkman. Back in May of this year, 170 Cardinals fans in the 1138th Transportation Company were deployed by the Missouri National Guard to Afghanistan on September 2nd. We'll do it again. It's This One's for You. Those men and women serving in our armed forces will be watching baseball that night. And hopefully we can give them a little slice of home that night. Bring them some Cardinal baseball on September 2nd. That'll be an early morning for them, but they don't mind it one bit. We always enjoy doing that too.
I went to Jefferson Barracks and saw some of the 1138 Transportation Company before they left for Afghanistan.
Are you on that night?
No.
Maybe we need to get you on with us. Say hello to your friends. Here's David Freese, 0-2. I know that you do a lot of work with our military, and I'm sure that's got to be emotional to see them, knowing that they're heading out to Afghanistan, and probably a little bit emotional for you.
Well, sure. Those telecasts have been very, very special to me, and I think, and obviously to the deployed families.
0-2 pitch in the dirt.
I go back to the very first one, and Joe Buck was doing the broadcast with me, where we had a lengthy rain delay for a couple hours.
Wasn't that against Boston?
Might have been, and that kind of got lost in it to me, but it was very emotional. As remember, we showed a sign of a grandfather, and he had a couple grandkids. Showed a sign, and wanted to.
Kershaw, nice play here. And safe at first. Off the bag was Loney, and Freese hustling down the line is aboard.
Great play by Kershaw, as you see how he hustles and can field his own position. Just gave it everything he got, just a high throw.
We'll go back to your story. I want to hear this.
Well, and he had a sign, had a couple grandkids with him, had a sign, it was Sergeant such and such, and we found the sergeant was in the audience, and we got him and showed him his father and his couple of his kids, and if you didn't get teared up over that, it was something special.
Wow. And we'll have a designated section for those families that'll be here, so many of the men and women over in Afghanistan will see their families, which is always so neat. And we get the feed coming back, and we can see even during the commercial breaks of some of the military personnel pointing and saying, there's my wife, there's
right.
my kids. And it's very, very special. So we'll do that on September 2nd.
Went to a school this year down in, I believe it was Franklin County, where there was a colonel, lieutenant colonel, I think, who was with the agriculture. There was two deployed National Guards, Missouri National Guards, and he was a lieutenant colonel, and got to time. I said, what's your civilian job? He said, well, I'm a school principal, and I think he'd been promoted to a superintendent, but it was his district, and he came out to our school program with Frederick, which was pretty neat. 6 months earlier, we saw him in Afghanistan.
2 balls and a strike on Yadier Molina. Ryan Theriot is on deck. You talked about the lack of turning double plays for the Cardinals. Also, they've hit into a bunch this year.
They lead the major leagues by far in grounding in double plays. Talking with Tony last week, he said if I send the runner, they hit into a line drive double play. If I don't, it's a ground ball double play. Albert leads the major leagues with 25. It's been quite a while since he's hit into one. Got Molina that is high on that list, and so is Holiday. I think they're 3 of the top 4 in the league.
Runners at the corners, 8-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 4th. And a 3-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Bases loaded for Theriot.
Second walk. Kershaw to load the bases. Theriot was the first walk. Just peck away, get it get a crooked number here this inning. Got Holiday, Freeze, and Molina.
Mitchell Boggs is on deck. 1 out, bases loaded.
They've got Zipchinski warming up in case Boggs' spot comes up. Real important for Terrio to be patient here.
One-zero pitch to Ryan Terrio. Terrio walked his first time up.
Gerald Laird looks like would be the pinch hitter.
Down the right field line, but foul. Say that Kershaw is excellent against right-handers, getting in on them, and I think that was a pretty good example right there.
And that's what I said. That's what separates the outstanding from just the average. Is if you're a lefty, can you have the ability to get in on right-handed batters?
The 1-2 pitch. Two balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 out, and the Dodgers up by 8. Big gap in the left center field for Ryan Terrio. The next to the Cardinals' second baseman is a called third strike. Strikeout number 5 for Clayton Kershaw.
On him in and then get him away. Right-handed batters are batting 220 against him. You set up inside, ball outside, but just gets the corner. And right-handed batters are batting, or excuse me, left-handed batters are going 171.
Interesting move here by Tony La Russa, down by 8, bases loaded, and he will keep in Mitchell Boggs to hit for himself. Going to get back in the game, this might be the time to do it, and your best chance clearly would be with a position player. But the other side, Tony's saying, I don't want to burn my bullpen. That's also what comes into the equation here.
Next off day is Monday before you head out to Milwaukee. And Kershaw is just licking his lips.
Right now you're hearing some of the boos here at Busch Stadium, and possibly the frustration of the crowd that Boggs is hitting right now and not a position player. The visitors will find over 3,000 artifacts from the Disney family, including exhibits that focus on the Disney family and tell the story of Walt's childhood. So to find out more, just look it up at visitmo.com.
You know, at one time, Walt Disney wanted to bring a Disneyland to Missouri. That was long before Disney World was into existence, but I worked at Disneyland a couple of years when I was going to junior college.
That's when I know the Cardinals are losing by 8, is when we start diving into you working at Disneyland. All right, let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Since 1900, named the only 2 pitchers to strike out over 380 batters in a season. What about Sandy Koufax? We've been talking about him tonight.
Nolan Ryan and Koufax.
There you go.
383 and 382.
Did it amaze you, Al, when you watched Sandy Koufax and just, you know, you looked at the beginning of what he did and then the tail end of just how good he was and the numbers that he put up? You being a lefty and seeing other left-handed pitchers, but this guy for a period of time just dominated Major League Baseball.
I don't know if it was 5 or 6 years, and actually, you know, I mean, if you look at his career numbers, he maybe 165 wins. It wasn't that many wins, but it was just how he dominated through that period of 5 or 6 years. They got him to the Hall of Fame.
To further your point, 34 and 40 as we started our telecast telling you about Sandy Koufax. Rest of his career, by the way, his ERA was 4.19 in those first 109 starts, and then the rest of his career he goes 125 and 45 with an ERA of 2.12.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy, you know, the numbers he put up. And then you think about, you know, you had Koufax, Drysdale, Sutton, 3 Hall of Famers there, and Claude Osteen. Believe, you know, I mean, he was consistently a 15-game winner.
Koufax threw 4 no-hitters. Couple of world championships. Deep in the hole for Cal. Long throw. Oh, what a play. Rafael Furcal. Wow. Great play deep in the hole from the Cardinal shortstop Rafael Furcal.
Still, Ralphie has a great range and a tremendous throwing arm. Rivera with that big swing, maybe a little late getting out of the box, but a tremendous stop and gets up and throws. Another low throw to Albert, but with his soft hands, he was able to scoop it up. But Furcal, earlier in his career, was just a terrific all-around player, great offensive player, and defense like this. You know, you still you see the defense, and the Cardinals are hopeful to see the offense. But he's had the injury bug. You know, broke his left thumb, oblique muscle strain, missed 63 games before coming to the St. Louis Cardinals.
That pitch is in to Andre Ethier.
Important to throw that pitch every now and then. Just like that, inside, keep hitters honest. Otherwise, they're going to just be feeling so comfortable in the batter's box, just swinging from their heels. What's the future of Mitchell Boggs? You know, what's his role with the ball club in the future?
Three and 1 the count as we play here in the top of the 5th. 8-0 Dodgers. They scored 3 runs in the first on a Matt Kemp 3-run homer, 4 in the second, another in the third.
You're down by 8 runs. Mitchell Boggs at times can get a little bit control can get a little bit iffy. So it's good to see him come back on the 3-1 pitch. Don't give anybody free passes.
A 3-2 to Ethier. Missed inside, ball 4.
Could have been called a strike.
Well, this game started with promise in the fact that Kyle Loesch had a chance to win his 100th career game tonight. But only 3 innings from Loesch. 8 runs, 8 hits, couple of homers that he gave up. And now here is Miles, who's called out on strikes and also grounded out to second. You want to talk about a tough guy? That's Aaron Miles. Caravan a few years ago, some young players around him, Al. He was telling the story about when he was in the minor leagues with the Astros. Just trying to get a look. He said not a lot of people looked at him because of his size anyway, but then he was held at gunpoint and tied up in a hotel room. He thought he was going to die and was able to fight the people that tied him up and put him at gunpoint and got the police involved. And he said, I didn't think I was leaving that room. So if you think this is tough, trust me, I've been there. It's a little tougher where I was. It was an unbelievable story. I mean, he just had everybody glued to every word he was saying. Backing up, off for Cowell into center field. Runners at first and third with 1 out.
Mentioned backing up, and usually when you do that, you allow the ball to play you. You always try to become aggressive and move forward on a ball, but sometimes you feel like you're going to get a better hop by backing up, and the hop was a little too much for him.
I'm assuming you've heard that story about Miles.
Yeah, I've had. And
it's unbelievable. Here's Barajas, who is fly to left and also a homer. E6 on that play. Runners at the corners.
Barajas' 13th homer earlier. Second on the Dodgers in those 13 home runs.
And a 1-0 pitch in the dirt, but picked by Molina. 2 balls and no strikes. For Barajas, that home run was number 13 and RBI number 35 on the year. The 2-0 pitch on its way. There's a strike from Mitchell Boggs at 96. You brought up the interesting question, what do you do with Mitchell Boggs? And such an intriguing guy. Throws hard when he's right. Nasty slider. At one point, Cardinals looking at him as being a closer of this year, certainly in the future. High fly ball, left field. And Barajas has done it again. His 14th home run, a 2-homer night, and a 3-run shot. You can make it 11-0. Los Angeles. Al, you talked about it, where the potential of turning double plays this year has not gone the Cardinals' way. Well, you have the air by for Kyle that could have been a double play, extends the inning, and here you have a 3-run homer, second of the night for the Dodgers, 3rd home run overall.
Like a little slider there that just kind of sat and spun on the inner part of the plate.
11th multi-home run game for Barajas.
17 home runs a year ago, putting time between the Mets and the Dodgers. 291, well enough to get signed by the Dodgers this year. And there are times, you know, when Mitchell Boggs, you just look at his stuff and you go, it can be so electric. As part of the maturing process is how to deal with adversity, give up that home run, and then you can't slump your shoulders. You got to just go attack the strike zone.
Right now, every move it seems like that Tony has been making last night in the 9th inning and again tonight, it's just not gone his way. I mean, you think about hitting Boggs with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and maybe a chance, you never know, to try to get back in the game. He stays at Boggs so that you don't eat up that bullpen. Well, here he is in his 2nd inning of work, and he's given up a 3-run homer for Cal again. Nice play to his left. Throw is wide. Pujols off the bag, base hit, Jamie Carroll. But nothing working right now.
Oh, you're right. And you know, a manager doesn't have the experience of Tony, might fear the reaction of the crowd or the media by allowing Boggs to hit for himself. But Tony will justify it. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and he's doing it for a reason. Save that bullpen. But you can see the season just slip away.
Here's Clayton Kershaw, 11-0, 10 hits, and this is another one possibly. Nope, in center. Craig makes the catch. Back to first goes Jamie Carroll.
Got a good jump on it as he saw the ball, was going to get over his head, coming in on it. And Kershaw also is hitting 220 plus. So a good hitting pitcher. And everything going his way tonight.
Top of the lineup here, Sellers, who is singled and scored in the first. RBI in the second, RBI double, run scored, and grounded out to short back in the fourth.
Cardinals really have not had many of these games where it's just gotten away from the pitching staff.
And the Dodgers have not had many of these games where they've scored runs.
No, they haven't.
At this type of clip.
I mean, if you talk to the Dodger personnel, they'll say, you know, every night we're seeing a 1-0 game for about 6 innings, and then it'll end up 2-1, 2-3, you know, 3-2.
Milwaukee 9-2, bottom of the 8th. Two-one pitch, make it 2-2.
A lot of crooked numbers up there for the Dodgers.
And this pitch is popped up on the infield, and Freese makes the catch. 11-0 Dodgers. Budweiser, what's on tap at 12:30? Kuroda and Garcia. Jaime is 10-6.
Hard to believe Kuroda has lost 14 ball games. But with a very good ERA, he's been victimized by lack of run production. And Jaime trying to win his 11th game. That would tie Kyle Loesch for the team lead. Get him back in winning ways.
Rafael Furcal leads it off against Clayton Kershaw. Here in the Cardinals half of the fifth for Kyle, Craig, and Pujols. Dodgers with a 3-run first thanks to Matt Kemp. 3-run homer. 4 runs in the second. 1 in the third. 3 more in the fifth on a home run by Barajas. A 3-run shot. Dodgers have hit 3 overall.
Sapchinski is warming up to the Cardinals.
Miles puts away for Kyle. Good to have the hard work of Keith Oberman working in our truck tonight. Brian McCann, Mike Helling, and Tom Mead.
In a game like this, Rooker broadcasted for the Pirates instead of, it was kind of the reversal where the Pirates were up like 11-0. Said if we lose this game, I'll walk back to Pittsburgh. And later on that year or off season, walked back to Pittsburgh and raised a lot of money for charity.
So he did it.
He did it.
Alan Craig, and 2 balls and no strikes.
9-4 is Pittsburgh.
Phillies win again, 9-4 over the Mets. Philadelphia is 83-44, 6.5 in front of Atlanta. Real race right now is in the National League West. Start of play today, Arizona by a game over San Francisco. Over in the American League, the East Division, Yankees over Boston by a game. Detroit leads Cleveland by 5.5 and Chicago by 5.5, and LA is 4.5 back of Texas in the West.
Not much of a wild card races either.
Not at all.
And the Dodgers trying to get out of last place in the West.
They could do that with a win tonight and a San Diego loss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Alan Craig.
The other day I was talking to Mark McGuire about Alan Craig, and he talked in such glowing terms. He really talked about how he kind of compared David Freese and Alan Craig, 2 guys that really young guys that seem like they have RBI potential, like to really drive the ball to the opposite field, and they come very economical. So I mean, these are 2 guys that really kind of plug in, and we got Holiday and some talk about bringing back Berkman.
It'd be pretty tough not to consider thinking about bringing back Lance Berkman. And there's a look at Freese, who will be back next year. Berkman will wind up with over 30 home runs. Got a real good chance to get over 100 RBIs, and depending on what happens with Pujols, if it works out economically, I think the Cardinals would love to have him back. There's a base hit by Alan Craig, his second of the night. This weekend, it's always a very, very popular day. It's the Creve Coeur Camera Photo Day, and that's Saturday. You get to go down on the field. It's first come, first serve. And you get to take pictures of your favorite players. That's this Saturday. And again, the game time change is at 3:15. 3:15 this Saturday, and we were trying to tell you before Pujols lined out. He didn't help us out, but
right.
Beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow, $5 seats in honor of number 5 for hit number 2,000. So 2,000 seats in the Milwaukee series, all 3 games, and that's September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Go to Cardinals.com/5, and you can pick up $5 seats, pavilion level. Those are some of the nicer seats in the ballpark, and we expect those to go very quickly. So that's at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That starts, and it will end Thursday night at midnight. Cardinals.com/5.
You know, Dan, you kind of look at with all the decisions and all the potential free agents the Cardinals have, you wonder if there's going to be some kind of a time limit that they'll give Albert to make his decision.
I think it's a great point, Al, because to an extent it can handcuff you in what you want to do.
Absolutely. You want to re-sign Albert, but not knowing what that's going to cost is going to dictate what moves you make surrounding the Albert. And you don't want to wait late into the off season and still not know his whereabouts, and then because other potential free agents you might want are going to go elsewhere.
Two and two. Cardinals hold an option right there on Chris Carpenter.
They hold two options on Wainwright. And I'm not sure. Is there something to the effect that it's contingent on him being on the 40-man or being on the roster at the end of the season?
I would think, Al, it's probably a foregone conclusion. They'll pick up the options for Wainwright.
Well, and it's very favorable to the ball club.
Sure.
And I think we all are just dying to see him. Talked to Adam briefly today, and everything's right on course. But you just have to play it out, and let Mother Nature let that the required time before he can come back and help you. But I think everyone's expecting that next spring he'd be ready to go.
2-2 the count with 1 out and a runner at first. That's Alan Craig. Outfield is deep for Pujols, who's 1 for 2 tonight with a single. Off speed pitch, pulled foul.
Flat-footed, kind of reaching for a ball that appears out of the strike zone.
We've talked about it a lot, but there has to be a willingness to give on both sides if you want to stay competitive.
Well, that's it. You can't. I mean, you just can't have Pujols, Holiday. Loesch has a $13 million contract again for next year. $15 million option for Carpenter.
Kershaw struck out 7.
The ball just dived down, and Albert swinging over the top. 7 strikeouts. Came in leading the National League with 199.
And a foul tip. Strike 1 on Matt Holliday. He struck out tonight and also doubled. Oh, 1 pitch to the Cardinal left fielder. Make it strike 2. Jim Wolf calling balls and strikes tonight. Mark Wegner at first, Ron Kulpa at second, and Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, down at third. Mark Wegner better get his sleep tonight. He'll be behind home plate, and it will be hot tomorrow.
Better hydrate.
You bet.
See tomorrow's home plate umpire working first tonight. Jimmy Carroll was talking to him. He said, I'm going to start drinking my water right now.
0-2 pitch to Holiday, up and in.
Make that pitch both sides of the plate. You know, you're not trying to hurt anybody, but if you miss inside off the plate. Keep the guy honest.
On 1-2. Out of play.
Count at 95. Cardinals were looking to get it around 100 in 5 innings, but they're also hopeful that Kyle Loesch would contain the Dodger offense.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Holiday pulls it foul.
See, after a couple pitches up and in, and an off-speed pitch down and away, and you expand the zone. You go out chasing. Who's got a little piece of it?
See him really change speeds in, out, up, down, just in this bat alone with Holiday.
Yeah, it's just called pitching.
Mm-hmm. Outfield is deep, big gap in left center. 1-2 pitch. Holiday's jam. This guy is tough. Clayton Kershaw. He's through 5, and the Dodgers lead it 11-0. To learn more, visit kia.com. By the state of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. And by the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter for just $2.99 at Jack in the Box at participating restaurants. History Museum here in St. Louis, and Zipchinski, the lefty, will take over, and still trying to figure out exactly his role with the club. And this is the Chevy call to the bullpen. Zipchinski last pitched against Pittsburgh on the 17th. Prior to that, it was 4 days. Prior to that, 3, then 4, then 2,
You took the words right out of my mouth. He's made 8 appearances. He's pitched extremely well. Most of the time, and especially since Arthur Rhodes has been acquired, he's been a guy that they used for multiple innings. Did do a career high 3 scoreless innings against Colorado August 13th. 2 innings last Wednesday. And he's made 2 or more 8 appearances of 2 or more innings. And he's only been scored upon once.
Zabchinski, first pitch to Loney is a ball, 1-0. And we're saying about the role because he can give you multiple innings. He can face lefties and righties. He could be a specialist. He's even been a starter before in his career, so we'll see how it plays out the rest of the year. And by the way, our Fox Tracks is brought to you by Chevy this inning.
I remember his very first St. Louis appearance. He went 2 innings. He did a couple left-handers the first inning, and then he went a second inning against all right-handers. Struck out 4 in that outing, and you couldn't wait to see more of him. But he's done a nice job every time he's taken the mound. And I think we all want to see more of him, but trying to figure out. With Arthur Rhodes, he's definitely not been the lefty specialist, which his numbers were very good at Toronto when he just faced left-handed pitching, or left-handed hitting.
Matt Kemp, a big night. Ooh, nice pick over there by Freese with the soft hands and makes the play. Matt Kemp is now 2 for 4, and we turn to our Schnooks of this date in baseball history. John Smoltz makes his debut at the Cardinals, gets the win and a 5-2 victory over the Padres. At one point, he set down 7 straight via the strikeout. August 23rd, 2009. This date in history brought to you by Schnooks. Now working for MLB Network is John Smoltz, also doing a little television work down in Atlanta. And playing a lot of golf.
She does very well.
Here's Rivera. Grounded out to third. Has a single and a pair of RBIs in the second. Also grounded out to short. 2 up and 2 down so far for Zabchinski. Nice pitch there where the bottom just drops out.
You can see that he has the ability to change speeds and spot the ball, get a lot of ground balls.
And a swing and a miss. Zabchinski, good work. He gets the strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Midway through 6, 11-0. LansBerkman.com at 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, it's all there. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Cardinals.com for details.
I wonder how much longer Kershaw is going to stay in this game. Right at 100 pitches.
I wouldn't think it'd be very long, would you?
No, I mean, Hawksworth is warming up. And, you know, he's does have 4 complete games, a couple shutouts, but you don't see him getting 4 more innings. You see where he is. Already extended his career high to 15, looking for 16, and he's well on his way.
And the 0-1 is a base hit up the middle for Lance Berkman. Fights it off just enough. And Berkman is aboard after a pair of strikeouts. He's 1 for 3. Well, for the Cardinals offensively, there hasn't been much, so we'll give Lance Berkman our Nissan drive of the game. Corey Patterson, by the way, will pinch run for Berkman. His night is through.
That's the reward he gets for the base hit, as he gets an early rest for tomorrow. And why not? Maybe we can borrow Miles later on in this game. Let Miles pitch to the Dodgers. Save some relievers.
First pitch to Freeze is fouled back. Hawksworth is in that bullpen for the Dodgers. Mike McDougal has put together a pretty good year for Los Angeles. Former Cardinal.
Well, he was coming off a hip surgery last season, so a little more time removed from that. Back to his very successful days of pitching for the Royals. But Hawksworth, the former Cardinal, he was the compensation for Terrio.
One and two. Swing and a miss, and Freeze is down on strikes.
Number 8 for Kershaw.
Eight strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. This could be a double play. Out at second, and it's a double play. 6-4-3, 7th inning coming up. $20. You get a field box ticket, $5 in cards cash, and find out more at cardinals.com/bowtie. Good to see that Steve Lyons and Eric Collins are here, working on the Dodgers side. And that's tapped foul underway here in the 7th.
Ethier 0 for 2. He did walk and score.
You've known Steve a long time.
First, I think I'm acquainted with him when I first knew of him when he had his famous incident diving into first base, and then forgot that he had a television audience and a crowd in front of him as he took down his pants.
Yes.
To dust himself off. But knowing Lyons, I think he might have known everything a bit about that.
Psycho is what they call him.
Psycho.
Psycho.
Wrote a book. He's very proud of himself. He wrote the entire book, and it does have words.
Yours is more a life story through pictures. Ethier not happy as he threw something that I guess is protective guard around his hand, and the umpire is out to get it.
There's a couple of these Dodgers that
I guess he doesn't realize it's 11-0.
Yeah, I'm being a little disrespectful as it's 11-0, and they're frustrated as they ground out or hit or strike out. The last two batters have been a little upset.
And here is Aaron Miles, who reached on an error and scored in the 5th. One out, no balls, and one strike here on Miles.
Milwaukee final as they win 11-4 at Pittsburgh. Last couple of years, I think Pittsburgh has lost every game in their head-to-head matchup with Milwaukee this year, except for the one they won last night in the doubleheader. But they are 3-36 the last few years in Milwaukee.
2 away. Here's Barajas. What a night he has had. His 11th multi-homer game of his career. 3-run homer in the 5th, solo home run in the 3rd, and also flied out to left.
Seems like they keep on working him in and to his liking. With the 2 for 3, 2 home runs and a line drive to left. Hawksworth continues to warm up, so you think Kershaw's night's through. So he has really blossomed at 23 into a real team leader, top step kind of guy when he's not pitching. Kind of vocal in the clubhouse in the right kind of way and being a real leader.
Hit down the left field line. Have a night. Ground rule double.
Another pitch inside. Solo home run, a 3-run home run, and now a double. 3 for 4. And sometimes Molina is set up away, and this one he misses the location, is down and in. He just drops the bat head and rifles one into left field corner.
So 3-hit night for Barajas, and here's Jamie Carroll.
Amy told me yesterday his grandfather here in town. It's the first time his grandfather's seen him play since his rookie year when he was in Montreal.
2 outs, and the first pitch is a fly ball off the end of the bat. This may drop, it will. Craig will come up firing, and it's cut off by Pujols. Throw to third, and they got him. Barajas gunned down, rounding third. He stopped and then cut off by Pujols and out. Base hit, 8-3-5. Time to stretch. And we'll move to the Cardinals half of the 7th, and Blake Hawksworth, their old buddy, is working out of the bullpen for the Dodgers.
42 appearances, 3.50 ERA, 43 innings, 10 less hits, 35 strikeouts, 13 walks, 5 home runs allowed. He still dealt with some issues, I think hamstrings. Struck out 21 batters last 17 outings. 209 opponents batting average, including 145 against lefties.
A lot of changes for the Dodgers. Velez, Gwynn, Hawksworth all in this ball game.
This is 2 guys traded for each other, as Terrio and Hawksworth were traded.
And a fly ball right center field. Gwynn is there and makes the catch. 1 away.
Tony Gwynn Jr. is out to right field. Velez at second base, and Jamie Carroll moves to shortstop. John Jay will pinch hit.
Swung on and fouled back by John Jay.
Trent Olgen is out in left field.
0-2 the count. On 1-2, the next to John Jay. Reaching for it, slowly hit, stays fair. Hawksworth, and there's 2 outs.
Hawksworth missed 23 games with a strained right groin. Came back in early June. At one point, the Dodgers lost 5 relievers out of their bullpen, starting with their closer all the way on back to 5 top relievers. Totally have had to remake their relief corps.
On 1 pitch to Rafael Furcal. Good work by Zipchinski. Gave up a couple of base hits. No damage done. And again, Al, he is impressed.
Yes, he has. You know, you're just kind of still trying to figure out where his role will be, but every time he's pitched in any role, he's really done a nice job. Dotel is warming up. Kind of hate to see Dotel being used in a game like this. They talk about he's effective when he has his rest.
Crowd tonight 37,062. 37062. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Rafael Furcal. Hawksworth, a Canadian-born guy, but family moved to the West Coast of the United States. Grew up a baseball fan and a Dodger fan, so this must be a thrill for him. The 3-2 pitch. Hawksworth, a 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th. It's 11-0. LA on top. Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. By Bank of America, where ATM deposits are as easy as an infield fly. No deposit slip, no envelope with Bank of America, member FDIC. And by AT&T. Lots of changes for the Cardinals here at Busch Stadium as Octavio Dotel takes over. It's a look that Al can appreciate. John Jay is in left field. David Freese moves from third to first. And Daniel Descalso is at third.
You get the feeling that Yadier Molina will not play tomorrow as he stays in this ball game. Dotel coming in. He took the loss on his last outing on Friday. And the Cardinals have coveted his arm for several years. Aliz trying to find his first Dodger hit.
Eugenio Veliz. And he looks at a low strike. Comes in. It's 11-run lead. That strike zone may expand a little bit.
He picked up a World Series ring last year with San Francisco. Tremendous numbers at AAA. Hit 300 from both sides. He's a switch hitter. 0 for the Dodgers. And I believe his last major league hit was May 31st of last season.
He's had 2 strikes called on him that haven't been strikes all night.
They aren't arguing.
0-2 pitch. And a strikeout for Dotel to start the top of the 8th.
Imagine a guy like Dotel is really kind of still trying to figure out how much rest, and then when he has too much rest, how to keep him sharp.
Back to the top of the lineup in Justin Sellers. Strike 1. Sellers tonight. Single, double, grounded out to short and popped out to third. Off the mask of Molina. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can hear that clearly up here. This crowd awfully quiet tonight, down by 11. They're quiet, and I don't blame them.
Right. I mean, just took the crowd right out of with that 3-run home run in the first. Schumacher is warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. Doesn't look like he's just getting ready to play second base, does it? So our new Aaron Miles.
You know, we always kid about it, but you do get concerned about guys, the possibility of injury.
Well, especially
his kind of arm.
A guy had a tricep injury earlier this season.
That's off of Terrios. He kicks it into the corner in right field. Sellers will stop at second base.
And Wallach, the third base coach for the Dodgers, has been considerate in the last couple innings on some base runners. You see, he tried to go over to it, actually kicked it in the knee. There's Wallach, who was a great player in his own right, especially with Montreal. but held up Sellers at second base. Rojas was held up and strayed so far around the third base bag they were able to tag him out to end last inning. As Wallach's trying not to run up the score.
James Loney with one out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And a high fly ball into center. Late break, who wants it, and the catch made by John Jay. Mott is on top of the fence. There's Lance Lynn. We'll see him before this season is through. Arthur Rhodes. The far right. 2 outs, runner at second base for Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn Sr. surgery not too long ago and recovering, the head coach at San Diego State. Tony Gwynn, his father, one of the nicest people, Al, as you know, that you'll meet in this game.
No doubt about it. Hall of Famer, recovering from prostate cancer, right? Throat cancer.
One ball, one strike.
Junior had a season-long 5-game hitting streak snapped on Sunday. It was 8 for 24.
He's been with San Diego, he's been with Milwaukee, and now the Dodgers. Good pitch, 1-2.
His uncle played for the Dodgers for quite a while, kind of a pinch hitter.
Remember, Tony Gwynn was really one of the first guys that got into video night after night.
His wife used to videotape everything, and they would replay the stuff, and she became pretty much a de facto hitting coach for Tony, if he ever needed one.
One ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs as we play here in the top of the 8th. 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 more in the 5th. 13 hits, 11 runs tonight for the Dodgers. Broken bat, and Furcal to his left makes the play. Dodgers have stranded 4 on tonight. They'll tell the scoreless inning as we head to the bottom of the 8th. of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Garcia and Kuroda tomorrow. We're in the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-0 in favor of Los Angeles. Second inning of work for Blake Hawksworth, the former Cardinal. And when he first was on the scene in the minor leagues, a lot was thought of Blake Hawksworth and what he might become. He dealt with arm issues for the better part of his minor league career, and finally when he got healthy, Cardinals used him in the bullpen. At times he was very good.
And the same can be said with the Dodgers. Very well against the Dodgers in his major league debut, and sometimes a club will remember that, get on the radar, and they made a trade for him.
There's a line drive slicing foul off the bat of Alan Craig. Descalso is on deck.
Allen, a bright spot tonight for the Cardinals, 2 for 3, average up to 318. I'd like to see where he was batting 336 before he fractured the kneecap. Missed 54 games, a third of the season. Mike Hawksworth picked up a couple miles an hour in his velocity. He's like 93, 94 maybe last year. Seen 95, 96 consistently here. Good breaking ball.
Loesch lasted 3 innings tonight, and at the time it was 8-0. Boggs at the plate, bases loaded, did not pinch hit for him. The Cardinals have had their starters the last 3 games go 7 innings, and Carpenter pitched into the 9th last night. You wouldn't think that there'd be an issue with the bullpen. Resting arms. And you couple that with an off day coming up on Monday.
For whatever reason, Tony allowed Boggs with 2 outs to hit for himself with the bases loaded.
That was the best opportunity the Cardinals had. Also, the Cardinals, as it's taken there by Loney, also the Cardinals had the tying run at the plate in the first after falling behind 3-0, and that's been their best opportunities. Matt Holliday safe at second, safe and secure, New York life, and that is the only extra base hit the Cardinals put together tonight off the bat of Matt Holliday.
Scalzo with his first plate appearance, and then Dotel's spot is next, and Laird is swinging the bat at the on deck circle.
1 out, nobody on, and that pitch is taken for a ball.
And Schumacher continues to warm up.
Descalso hits it out to deep center field. Gwynn is back and casually makes that catch. They say he's a very good defender, can play all 3 outfield spots and look pretty comfortable there.
No doubt about it. Back on the ball and very tracked it down.
That ball was well hit by Descalso.
Yes, it was. Stung this ball, went right at the center fielder. Gwynn does go back a couple feet. Our Fox Exmo cam. Not only do people at home keep score, Dan, but they do it in the stands.
You bet.
Very dedicated, very dedicated for this game.
And even some in the bullpen, as we saw earlier this year. Brian Wilson, the closer for the Giants. Here's Gerald Laird.
He's on the DL right now.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an arm issue. Giants really haven't put it all together this year, even with their great starting pitching that they have.
Well, a lot of the guys that came through last season are not doing the same job this year. And offensively, they just don't score much.
Picked up Carlos Beltran, then he got hurt. 0-2 here on Laird.
Pat Burrell. Got a lot of mileage out of their center fielder last year.
Was at an event for the Cardinals on Saturday. Gerald Laird was there and entertaining a lot of the Cardinal fans that purchased the road trip to Wrigley package. He was great with the fans.
Pretty humorous, isn't he?
Very much so. Very entertaining.
Keeps up with all the sports and big Rams fan.
Jason Mott was also there, and he was entertaining too.
And Laird was a Rams fan before he came to St. Louis. Going to make a couple road trips this year.
1-2 is tapped foul. Detroit over Tampa Bay 2-1. Cincinnati comes from behind. They defeat Florida 8-6 tonight. The Royals, Al's former team, with a win over Toronto 6-4. Oakland beat the Yankees 6-5. Milwaukee, as we mentioned, over Pittsburgh 11-4. Cleveland over Seattle 7-5. Arizona blank Washington 2-0, and Laird strikes out. That sends us to the ninth. And Aaron Miles is saying, wait a minute.
He's the third hitter.
That's my role.
Yeah, Aaron Miles fulfilled emergency pitcher about 4 different times as a Cardinal, and Skip a little more serious. But
I think he's trying not to crack a little bit of a smile right now.
And I mean, you know how serious he is and everything like this, and he understands. The crowd got a little kick out of it the first time they've had a chance to cheer.
He was throwing a BP fastball, and most of the warm-ups were just like that, strikes.
91 though.
Pretty easy and fluid too.
Right. According to Fox Tracks, it was 91 at the top of strike zone. Took a little off for 78. I think it looked like he was just nice and easy throwing strikes.
We know he has got a cannon for an arm.
Well, and an 11-0 game, you're in the 9th inning. It's the only levity that these players, Cardinals, can find. 92.
And the hitters right now are saying, wait a minute, this is a position player and he's throwing low 90s. That's not supposed to be the case.
So he gets loose.
Took some off it, and a strikeout for Skip Schumacher.
You go back to hear a lot of jeers from your teammates as they go, "Hey, Schumacher struck you out." Changes speeds again.
We know he's versatile, but we didn't know this versatile.
You know we like him.
Here's a 1-0 pitch.
There, strike. He's trying not to laugh. Everybody else is.
Here's a 1-1.
93 now. Back to that 78-mile-an-hour.
And that's a ball. And it should be ball 4. It is. Ethier was still standing at the plate till a moment ago. Skip is a perfectionist. Believe us. He's probably frustrated with that walk. Knowing him.
Yep.
Miles with a high fly ball into deep right field. Aaron Miles of all people. Aaron Miles of all people. 2-run homer off of Schumacher.
Game-winning, game-tying hit, and then scored the winning run last night. Here he hits a 2-run home run against one of his buddies. It's his 3rd home run of the year, and RBIs 37 and 38. And where's the 13-run pool? Miles knows what it's like to be out there on the mound like this. Now he's experienced how to hit a home run off a position play.
And a strike to Rod Barajas, who's been the home run man tonight. He's got a double, 3-run homer, solo shot, and the 0-1 pitch. Now you think about position players, Al, that have got the great arms. You know, think about if a Sean Dunston would have gone on the mound and truly would have been able to get a radar gun on him to see how hard he could throw that pitch at 90 from Schumacher. But you watch Skip throw, and very free and easy, and it just boom out of his hand and low 90s. He would have been one I would have liked to have seen throw.
Some people asked Whitey one time, sit there, and when they were saying, you know, how come Dwight Gooden didn't go #1 in the country? They said, you know, Sean Dunston went #1 that year. Whitey's response was he has a better arm.
Skip just apologized to Barajas.
If you're going to be a pitcher, you can't be playing that game.
See, now he backed him off the plate, Al, and he wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, but you don't apologize.
Right.
Back him off. Take 3 steps at him and say, yeah, I'm trying to throw it at you.
Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is coming up. Jim Hayes and Rick Horton standing by, and here is Blake Hawksworth. Supposed to be the other way around.
Velocity is going down on his fastball. Late chance for a 3-inning save.
Tell you what, Skip is working faster than any pitcher in the major leagues. We like him already. 2-2.
No rule. If you lose quick.
Fans are still applauding before the next pitch is thrown. And Schumacher, a couple of strikeouts. Pitches tonight. 6 innings, 6 hits, no runs, walked 2, and struck out 8. And he was as good as advertised here tonight.
Well, outstanding. Had so much run support that even though the pitch count got up there, didn't matter. Now Blake Hawksworth out for his 3rd inning of work and pick up a save.
On the air tomorrow at 12:30 with our pregame show. 1:15 our first pitch. Corey Patterson, David Freese, and Skip Schumacher received a standing ovation as he left the field. Gave up the home run to Miles, but a couple of strikeouts for Skip.
He's got an ERA too. Just happens to be 18.
Corey Patterson, first plate appearance of the night, 3rd inning of work for Hawksworth. Dodgers with 3 runs in the first on a Matt Kemp 3-run homer. 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the 5th, and an Aaron Miles 2-run homer in the 9th. 4 home runs total tonight for Los Angeles. One pitch to Corey Patterson. Bottom dropped out, and it's 0-2. Cardinals in a stretch of 16 of 19 here at home, and this is the first 2 games of that long stretch, and it looks like they'll go to 0-2. Patterson drills it down the right field line, and that's a fair ball. And a ground rule double, just the 2nd extra base hit for the Cardinals thus far tonight. A happy young fan with a souvenir.
All up right over the middle of the plate, laced into the right field corner, hops over the wall for a ground rule double. Cardinals 1 run last night, held to 7 hits and no runs to this point.
Slider and a strike. Schumacher on deck.
Miles really slowed his arm angle down and almost telegraphed it. He's trying to get a pitch over the strike zone.
If the Cardinals cannot come back and they're down by 13 here in the bottom of the ninth, they would fall to 10 games back in Milwaukee. Milwaukee with a win tonight over Pittsburgh.
Sound skeptical if you don't think they'd come back.
That's what I said, if.
Okay.
Big if. Here's the 0-2 pitch to David Freese. Milwaukee improved to 78-53. They are closing in on the best record in the National League.
That's what Nigel Morgan the other day is saying. Don't worry about anybody catching us. We want to catch Philadelphia for the best record.
Phillies with 82 wins. Milwaukee 78.
Could be almost have the identical record as the Dodgers, and the Cardinals be in second place in the Central Division.
Pitch is taken up. What you mean identical as far as where you're at in the standings?
You know, behind games
right.
Behind. Could be 10 back. Los Angeles could be 10.5 back. They're in last place and we're in second place.
A 3-2 pitch to David Freese. You wonder if Hawksworth is running out of gas. As you mentioned, it could be a 3-inning appearance for Hawksworth, and I'm sure Don Mattingly would love to do that. So here's Schumacher.
Schumacher's pitching performance put a little energy in the crowd, and now they're rooting for him to do something offensively. Catchers can change gloves. Mattingly, a learning experience on the field and kind of dealing with all the problems the front office and ownership hasn't. Couldn't be too easy, but they say he has really handled everything, stayed very even keel.
Just saw Skip with a little smile looking down at Aaron Miles, who's at third.
And drop a bunt down on him. Beat it out.
Skip, base hit.
Done better.
And the bases are loaded.
Patterson had to make sure this ball got through. He wanted to sure it went a line drive and turn into a double play. I have a hard time believing a guy would be running out of gas with 33 pitches. But you may be right.
Bases loaded and nobody out for Ryan Theriot. Theriot has walked tonight. He's 0 for 2. Started second base.
Got a lefty warming up, and he's been warming up. Whoa. Been warming up the entire ninth inning. Pretty embarrassing, though, when you have to make a pitching change with a 13-0 lead.
May see him before this night is through. You've got left-handed bat Jay on deck, and then for Kyle a switch hitter Craig, and then another lefty in Descalso. I'm sure that is the last thing, though, that Don Mattingly wants to do. 3-1. A 3-2 pitch to Terrio with the bases loaded. Again, Terrio ground out to Miles. Nice pick by Velez. And they get it out at second base. Run scores. Cardinals get on the board.
40th RBI for Terrio, and looks like he's going to knock Hawksworth out. Low throw. Couldn't get two. Don Mattingly out to take the ball from Hawksworth.
We'll step aside. 1 out, runners at the corners when we come back. His ERA is over 11 this year at 27. 16 1/3, 16 hits. You see the walks, 18 this year.
And he's missed a combined 52 games during stints on the DL this season. One time for anxiety disorder and another time for left low back strain. He has struck out 4 or the last 4 batters he's faced, and he's averaging over 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. Tough that Hawksworth couldn't get the final 2 outs, and you have to bring in another reliever with a 13-1 lead, but John Jay could make it a little more interesting. Give us a little more baseball tonight.
Runners at the corners. One out. 13-1 in favor of the Dodgers. They've out hit the Cardinals 14-8. Jay, first pitch, fouled back. "35 pitchers in Cardinals team history recorded their 100th career win while pitching for St. Louis. We're hoping to see number 36 tonight. Last year, the Cardinals set a 20-game winner. Wainwright, a 16-game winner. This year, 5 pitchers between 8 and 11 wins so far this year.
Doubtful the Cardinals will get a winner of 15.
Little flare out to left, drops in, base hit. Second run of the night for St. Louis.
Wow, what happened to Terrio?
Force play at second, and Terrio just in there. Story tonight has been Matt Kemp and his 3-run homer, now a career high with 29. Terrio in safely. Needs one more home run to become just the second Dodger in club history to have a 30-30 season. Talked about it earlier. Raul Mondesi did it twice, 1997 and again in 99.
Turn around for Kyle, where he, this year at least, he's been a better hitter right-handed.
And a ground ball that's hit to second. Out there on to first. It's a double play. And this game is over for 6-3. Tough night.
It's over. It's over. Start winning tomorrow. Get ready to play a game tomorrow.
Post-game show coming up. 12